this is the first time they've had the ball, other than when they threw the very first series. What do you do here now? Do you throw the option with the thought that you could drop it, or do you pass?
Well, it's 3rd and 4 for the Rainbows from their own 6-yard line. He spins all the way around. He's still got it himself. There's the pitch back. Have they got it covered? I think they may have the first down. They ran the option. Carter spun all the way around, pitched it back, and Nathan Hall and Vic Charlton covered, but I think they got it.
Only use the counter option twice. This is a little safer because it gives you a little longer look. Doesn't develop as fast, and they're tentative with it. That isn't the way Gordon was doing in the first half, but after you fumble it a time or two, you can see why they would be tentative. They pick up the first down with 8:08 left in the 3rd.
So now they have a first down on their own 12-yard line and a little more room to operate on. Carter with the ball, still has, he's back to throw. Does throw, and nice diving catch at the 23-yard line. Nice catch by Gerald Lacey, the freshman wideout. Patrick Mitchell covering.
That's the option pass, and that's not an easy throw or an easy catch. Watch how they handle it. Looks like option all the way. This is where Marvin Graves from Syracuse is so effective. Here's the swing, lays out, and makes a nice effort.
So now the Bows have a first down on their own 23-yard line. They trail by 3 points. Fullback's got it. He's into the secondary. There he goes. It might. Nope, they catch him from behind at the BYU 38-yard line. Boy, they opened up a hole to Calvin Melvin, and Patrick Mitchell with his great speed caught up with him. So the Bows, who started on their own half-yard line, are down to the BYU 30, what? Where would it be? 37-yard line.
Watch Melvin, who lives in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Boy, he just does a great job taking over for Travis Sims, and only the speed of Mitchell saves a touchdown. Calvin Melvin has had a big day.
So the Rainbows trying to get the lead back. They trail by 10 at halftime. Same play to Calvin Melvin, and he has 7 or 8 yards before Todd Herget tackles him.
This is a terrific drive. It started on the 1-yard line. Melvin with another carry, and that time barely gets a football. Looked like it was on the hip, but he's able to hang on. You got to read that tackle, make a quick decision. That's what Carter does effectively.
Boy, this game has been one of momentum changes.
Has it ever.
Second down at about 4, maybe 5 for the Rainbows. Carter gives no gain. He gave to his fullback again, running back, and this time there's no gain.
Looked like Hill with the first hit.
That was Calvin Melvin again. Yeah, Travis Hall and Brian Hughes both there. So the Rainbows have 3rd down. 2.5 yards, maybe 3 yards to go for a first down, and just short of the BYU 30.
Last time in this situation, counter option. Let's see if that's the call again. Unbalanced.
BYU might have been offsides. Carter gave to Calvin Melvin, and they met him. The momentum came from the BYU line, but I guess they weren't offside. They came right with the snap. Greg Pitts and Travis Hall blitzed him, stopped him.
Watch Pitts, who had a big game. Well, I'll tell you what happened. There was a stalemate in the middle. I think it was Gomes had a stalemate, and then Big Pitts stepped up and does his thing.
Well, they're going to bring in the field goal unit now.
It's a long one.
From the 37, so it's a 47-yard field goal attempt by Oswald. It's his first try of the year. It won't be any good. It will not be good. It's low and off to the left, so BYU stops him this time. That good defensive charge up the middle on 3rd down did it, and Oswald kicked it low. He's a freshman out of Lake City, Georgia. One of 2 kickers that they signed to replace Jason Elam, and it'll take 2 to replace him.
I think you're right. There's a look at Lavelle Edwards. You just can't say enough about the job that he has done. He'll do some things that really hurt you.
Looking for his 200th coaching victory this year. Herb, isn't that something?
He'll hurt you, though. If you appreciate patterns, he can really do some things. And he was a defensive coach and a single wing coach when he was in high school.
First down BYU, and Walsh will throw. Does throw. It is caught. Not much gain by Drage. Got it out on the left flank.
That's good defense. They just make sure that Eric Drage doesn't cut it upfield.
Anderson and Ellis both on him. 5:14 to play.
Here's Drage. Motion. Defensive coordinators don't like motion or unbalanced lines. Here's the throw. Boy, I tell you, that's a very good reaction. Let's give credit to Nelly Angehart. He gets out on him quick.
2nd and 7. 5:14 to play in the 3rd quarter. BYU ahead by 3 points. Walsh again to throw, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage.
Tried to go to Doman, and there just wasn't a lane to throw the football.
Tupuola is the one who deflected the pass. Stops the clock with 4:50 in the 3rd quarter. It's BYU 31, Hawaii 28. Tyler Anderson brings a play in. Knowles comes in as a running back. Drage comes wide to the right. Anderson to the left. Knowles and Haymuli the running backs. Walsh from the shotgun. Has the snap. Looking, throws downfield, and it is incomplete.
Got a hold in the middle of the line.
It's intended for Nowatzki, and there are flags down.
A flag down on the play.
They're going to flag the center, who's really played pretty well, but I think they get Simmons this time.
Now we'll see if Hawaii wants the play or would like to get the penalty. Ellis was covering on that play.
Penalty is declined.
They'll refuse the
4th
penalty,
down.
so BYU will be into punt again. Boardman punted the last time, and it was down to the half-yard line. The time before that, it was blocked for a score, and that's the only score we've had in the 2nd half.
See if they load up. They had 10 up front when they blocked the punt.
Boardman kicking from his own 18-yard line.
Looks like they're coming.
Odom is the deep man. Snap is there. Had it away. Lines this one. Odom will take it to the 21-yard line. Coming for the left sidelines. Covered well by BYU. They spin him down at the 21-yard line. That was Nowatzki who got down there to make the hit for the Cougars. So with 4.5 to play in the 3rd quarter, BYU still leads by a score of 31-28. University of Hawaii ready to go from their own 21-yard line then, where they have a 1st and 10. Carter with the football. He's back to pass. He's hit as he throws it. It's batted in the air, too. It's incomplete. 2 good defensive plays. Hughes knocked the ball free, and he was hit from behind by Travis Hall.
Watch Travis Hall, 56, get off the mark on the right side, fake the option, back to pass, and Hall was able to beat Fonseca, and they almost get a pick.
That'll make it 2nd and 10 for the Hawaii Rainbows. They're on their own 21-yard line. Carter with the ball, gives it to the fullback going through, and he gains to the 27-yard line. That is Calvin Melvin. That last punt, by the way, by Boardman was a 46-yard punt. Hughes and Hall for the Cougars, combining for the stop.
Tell you who made the first hit, too, to slow him up and let those guys make the play was Greg Pitts. Watch Pitts slide down from his right tackle spot. He'll make the initial contact right there, slows him up, and then the tackle.
3rd down, about 4.5 yards to go, and Hawaii will call timeout. As Carter looked over, I don't know if he ran out of time or didn't like the alignment. It's like he was trying to move one of his teammates, and then he called timeout. We have 3:58 to play in the 3rd period, and Brigham Young is hanging on to a 3-point lead, 31-28.
You know, Jay, you were talking earlier about teams coming in here and beating BYU. One of the best wins CSU has ever had was in here against Steve Young. Leon Fuller was coaching, and he only rushed 3 people. He was determined not to let Steve Young run, and I thought he had a very good game plan. He didn't get a lot of wins when Leon was coaching, but that sure was a good one for him.
Well, next week, Colorado State and BYU on the Blue White Network. Check your local listing for the time in your area. 3rd down, about 4.5 yards for a 1st down for the Rainbow Warriors. Carter's going to throw for it. Looking, pressure, being chased. He might get it himself. He will. He's got the yardage and is knocked out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. So they had the coverage on the receivers, but Carter was able to get away. Todd Herget and Brian Hughes making the tackle.
Lost the rushing lanes up front, and a guy like Carter is going to take advantage of it. Watch this now. That's just a mistake and something that the coaches will point out. Carter correctly puts it in the left arm so that you can't pull it free if you're making a tackle on the other side.
First down Hawaii on their own 35-yard line as they battle it out through the third quarter. Cougars had a 10-point lead at halftime. They lead by 3 now. Here's Carter, still with the football. He's hit as he throws it, gets the pass off, and it's incomplete. Threw it way out of bounds. Caught by one of the coaches. Gomes did a great job, Jay, up the middle. Casey Masota was covering down deep. Seems like right now BYU getting more pressure on Carter.
Watch Lenny Gomes, who is a bona fide outland candidate. Look at him get off the block. You're always doubled when you're in the middle. There's always 2 people hitting you. You don't know which side they're going to come from.
We have a flag down to that one.
Yeah, Herget talking to the official.
So let's see.
Receiver downfield against the offense. 5 yards. Repeat first down.
So a 5-yard penalty.
Saw Johnny Adams, the head of the WAC officials at halftime. He's got double duty today. He's got to watch Utah and Utah State tonight, so he's working hard. John was a good football player. He was a fullback at DU when they played football. Well, he's a good one.
He's chairman nationally, is he not, now, the rules committee?
Really bright, real bright man.
1st and 15. Carter is hit, got away, now flips it back. Oh boy, is he elusive. And we're going to get a first down out of that when it looked like they had him for a loss. He was hit, ran, flipped it, and made the play work.
18-yard run.
Randy Brock for BYU, first one to get through there. But he got away, and then Brian Hughes and Vic Charlton combined for the stop.
What's interesting here, watch the wide out for Hawaii avoid the clip, which would have brought it back. Right here, could have clipped in the back, and he lays off. That's Hirota.
1st and 10. 1st and 10. Hawaii on their own 48-yard line. They've had the ball most of this third quarter. There's Carter with the pitch back. This is Jasper. He comes around the corner, and he's knocked off his feet at the BYU 40. It's another first down.
Jay, their option game is back. I mean, the timing is there now. Herget with the tackle, and everything they're doing now is crisp. They lost it for a while. Now they got it back. Watch the timing here. Reads the tackle. Quick pitch. Got a lead block this time. That's a good job.
3:14 to go in the third period. Now they're on the BYU 40-yard line, and it's first down. Crowd trying to help the BYU team. They split 2 men wide to the right. He gives it up the middle. Gain of close to 5 yards to Glenn Carson. Masada and Travis Hall combined to make the tackle.
Carson was the guy I thought we might see more of. He had a good spring. CSU recruited him. Missouri wanted him. Big kid, about 215, just a junior.
Out of Canada. He and Herget played hockey against each other.
Didn't Herget walk on?
He did. He walked down at BYU. 2nd and 5 for the Rainbows, now on the BYU 35-yard line. Again, it's up the middle. This time the gain maybe 2 or 3. That's about all. Went to the same player, Glenn Carson, and Pitts and Herget again there for BYU. So it'll bring up third down.
Pitts has really asserted himself in the second half. Done a nice job with the middle game. 2:02 left. Third period.
Third down and a yard to go for Hawaii as they're trying to regain the lead. They led once in this game, 21-14.
This is a dangerous play now because you're in 4-down territory. You don't want to bring everybody up. He's liable to throw.
Here's Carter. He's still got the football. There's the pitch back to Gordon. And they wrap him up, but not until he has the first down. Well, he faked it, faked keeping it, and then pitched it. Hall and Christensen for BYU tackling. So the Rainbows are on the move. They have been moving the ball here in the third quarter.
Gordon's nickname is Money. You can see why. He's had a big day. He was recruited by Minnesota and Cincinnati. Was a wideout. I think it was a good move. And they put him at slot, take advantage of his skills.
328 rushing yards, and they have a first down on the BYU 26 right now towards the end of the third period. Got the pitch back just at the right time. Coming around the corner, 20-15-10, and touchdown. That was one of those that was oh so close, because BYU almost had him stopped 3 times, but not until John Beneri gets around the outside and scores, and the Rainbows have the lead, 34-31.
Fresh legs. Can't remember you calling his name.
No, we have not.
And this slot back really does a job. Now look what he's got to avoid. There's an angle. He avoids that. There's an angle. Avoids that. And he puts his ball club on top as he's able to beat Mitchell to the flag. Well done.
Well, they'll try the extra point, so they have scored twice here in the third quarter, and they've held BYU scoreless in the third quarter. Here's the kick. It's good. So the Rainbows have the lead now. They lead by a score of 35-31. BYU led 31-21 at the start of this third quarter, but Hawaii, a team that you might have thought would tire a bit here, I don't know. The third quarter has belonged to the Rainbows.
Lavelle Edwards, he knows what the option game can do to you, and they're seeing a good one today.
There's Beneri. Most points scored by the Rainbows here in Provo. Remember, they have never won here, but there's another, you talk about nevers. No one in the WAC had ever beaten Lavelle Edwards 3 out of 4 times, and Hawaii's done that.
When you play the option, everybody has to take care of their assignment. If there's any breakdowns, you get big problems.
Stabile will kick off. He doesn't kick him high, but he sure kicks him long and hard, and kicks this one out of the end zone. Hawaii now 355 rushing yards and 69 passing yards. So they're well over 400 yards. And that last scoring drive, 79 yards. Brigham Young's now 80 yards away from the end zone, and they need a TD to regain the lead as you look at Lavelle Edwards and the Cougars on the far sidelines. They've got their hands full. They did last week against New Mexico, came back and won it at the end. Can they do it in this one? I don't know. BYU 1st and 10 from their own 20. John Walsh, the quarterback. Christensen on a sweep to the left side. Tries to, does get around the corner for 4 yards. And then he's hit hard. Boy, I'll tell you. He was hit hard by Blakeney and Carlos Anderson.
Talk about getting your ticket punched. Fresh legs. Christensen looked like he might have something going. Well, you want to see a good form tackle. That's how you teach it.
5-yard run.
This Frank.
With the stop for Hawaii.
Well, he is going to get stuck right there. That's not bad.
5-yard gain for BYU. 2nd and 5 from the 25. And we're inside a minute. Less than a minute to go in the third period. Hawaii now with a 4-point lead. Walsh is back to pass. Fakes once, and then is knocked down.
That's a
sacked.
fumble.
Yeah, he fumbled it, but he fell on it himself. So BYU will face 3rd and 10, and Hawaii is kind of dominating things right now. 20 seconds to go in the third period. Jim Mansfield was right on top of him. So the Cougars have 3rd and 10 from the 20. I don't think we'll get another play underway before the quarter ends. As time's running down, the team comes slowly up over the ball, and that will end the third quarter of the football game. They will not get it underway. So after 3 quarters of play, the University of Hawaii, with a strong third quarter, has the lead by a score of 35-31. This is the Blue and White Sports Network. Total yards in the third quarter, the Rainbows 100 more than BYU. The attendance today, 65,771, as the Cougars face 3rd and 10. Walsh fakes a handoff. He's still got the ball, looking to throw, rolling to the right, comes back, sets up, throws, and it is incomplete. Tried to hit Haimuli at the 50-yard line, but he couldn't get it to him. And BYU is going to have to punt the football once again, as that Hawaii defensive pressure stopped him.
Well, with the bootleg action, they pull Edwards. It's only Jim is limping off the field and just unable to come out with a completion. So the punt will come from the 5-yard line. And Hawaii looks like they're loading up.
Boardman punting from the 5. Odom is the deep man at the 32-yard line. Boardman's averaged 46 in the game. Done well, the freshman. His first home game action. Gets it away. It's a high spiral. and it'll come down at the 25-yard line. Odom has it there. Odom is knocked off his feet at the 27-yard line. Good coverage by the BYU team. Now they turn it over to the Cougar defense. Unitoa and Simmons for BYU, first ones to get there.
Hawaii had a return left on, but the ball was punted to the right hash mark, and it was just too far to take it over there. There's the first down. What's happened? The average yards.
8 yards of play. That's amazing. So Hawaii has the ball, 1st and 10 on their own 27, and they have a 4-point lead now. And we're in the 4th and final quarter of the football game. Carter fakes. He's going to throw. He's looking. He does throw, and it is incomplete.
That's a flag.
Yep, flags go down. Christensen of BYU covering on the play. Pass intended for Harding.
And definitely makes contact.
Harding didn't, or Christensen didn't know where the ball was.
Here it is. He had 2 receivers flood the zone. Deep man is well covered by Tarleton, so they throw short, and there's the contact.
Defense, spot foul, first down.
Spot foul again, I guess, huh?
Yeah, they move it back. It's at the 41-yard line then. So the Rainbows have a first down at their own 41. They're in great shape in this game right now, protecting a 4-point lead, and their offense is in high gear. Penalties in the game. Cougars more yardage, but the Rainbows more penalties. Here's Carter, gives into the middle of the field, and there he goes again. Can they catch him? They finally do at the 28-yard line, and that is Calvin Melvin. Vic Tarleton caught up with him, and boy, this Rainbow offense is clicking.
Boy, did they block it effectively. Watch Pele, Goo, McGill, and the read by Carter. Good turnout block, though, by Pele. And only the speed of Tarleton saves the touchdown as Melvin just explodes.
First down, Rainbows on the Cougar 28-yard line. Rainbows leading by 4 and threatening to increase that lead. Here's Carter, same play, big gainer. He's all the way to the 6-yard line. That is Calvin Melvin. Casey Masada tackled him, and the Cougar crowd getting down to their own team right now.
Well, and what I'm sure Ken Schmidt is wondering is, where's my backers? This guy's getting into the secondary. Suddenly, there's no backer.
First and goal for Hawaii from the BYU.
First and goal, Hawaii on the Cougars 6-yard line with BYU down by 4 points.
Look at the numbers on Calvin Melvin.
Now we have a timeout called by Brigham Young University. So the Cougar defense calls time, and the entire defense is going over the sidelines to talk this over. 14 minutes to play in the game. BYU down by 4. This is the Blue and White Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, the attendance for today's game is 6.
Melvin has 14 carries for 166 yards in this game, averaging 12 yards a carry. So it's first and goal, Hawaii on the BYU 6-yard line. Carter,
Good hit.
this time there's a good hit at the line of scrimmage by Hughes of BYU on the young man, Calvin Melvin. So it'll be second and goal at the 5-yard line.
We were asking where the backer was. Well, the backer was in proper position that time, makes the hit. Now what do you do here? You come back with the same play, or do you take it to the perimeter with Carter?
Well, they bring Jasper and Hirota into the ball game. They split 2 men wide to the left. It's second and goal at the 5-yard line. Carter still with the ball, running the option. He is short of the goal line as he's rolled down. Carter kept it himself that time, and Hall for BYU, Nathan Hall and Frank Christensen tackled him, but they're close.
Well, he really is sharp. He makes very good decisions. You don't have a lot of time to think when you're running the option. BYU has changed up just about every play. Sometimes they crash, other times they feather. You got to make a decision. He's done it all.
We always talk about key plays. How about this one? 13 minutes to go in the game. The Rainbows have the ball. Third and goal on the, well, they're a yard and the football away from the end zone. And the BYU crowd trying to make enough noise to help. Carter, it's fumbled. They do not score as they drop the ball. So now, do you go for the field goal or try to score?
Oh, I think if you're Bob Wagner, you got to take a 7-point lead and go for the field goal.
That's Calvin Melvin who dropped it. Nathan Hall was right on top of him. Watch this.
Here it is. Hergert was coming. They had their run blitz on, and it looked like the ball was put on the right hip. He expected it on the left hip. So what basically amounts to an extra point is your field goal attempt. But this is a good job by the BYU defense to dig in.
Carlton Oswald will try the field goal, only his second of the year, and it is good. He kicks it through, so he has the field goal. He's now 1 of 2 on the season, both of them here today. And Hawaii has the lead by 7 then, 38-31. Hawaii has scored all of the points of the second half. They have scored 17 points now while holding the Cougars scoreless. And as you see, there's 12 minutes left to go as BYU coach Lavelle Edwards thinks it over.
Same situation as in the Islands. BYU was behind, came back and actually took the lead. They're down big time. And then Hawaii came back and hit a big pass. Carter hit one. Yeah.
Well, BYU will receive then. Look at the rushing yardage in this game. The Rainbows 412 yards on the ground.
I'll tell you, Jay, that's a lot. What I consider a pretty good defense. You know, I'm sure people are going to be moaning about this defense, but there's some pretty good players out there. And Carter and Gordon and company, Melvin, have taken it apart.
Tell you what, Irv, I think maybe the coach Wagner has convinced me. Carter may be the best quarterback in the WAC. Look at that. Only 4 WAC teams have ever beaten BYU here in Provo. And Hawaii's not one of them. But they got things going their way right now. The Cougars have to put something together offensively, which they can do. They were down in the first half. And, you know, the momentum has gone back and forth. BYU early, then Hawaii, then BYU, now Hawaii. Here's the kick. It'll come down in the end zone, and there'll be no return. That's Nowatzki who grabs it back there. So BYU will take over 80 yards away from the goal line. 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line.
See if they can get Salioni going here. He's been mainly a blocker in the scheme the last couple of series, and he is the guy who has been able to shake free with the crossing patterns, or if you choose, they call it a drag pattern.
Walsh so far in the game, 15 of 25, only 146 yards. Does have 2 TD passes, however. So 1st and 10 Cougars from their own 20. Hamuli and Hall are the setbacks. And that's a pitch to Hall around the right side. Tries to turn the corner. A flag goes down as he gets 23 or up to the 23-yard line. But a flag went down right where the tackle was made.
Well, you've got an illegal block, and that's Salioni, I believe. Draws a couple of flags, so that's going to cost him.
Wide players indicating it'll be a hold on BYU, and that's the call. So for the Cougars of BYU, if you think things could get any worse for them, they will really be in the hole now as they try to move the offense.
10 yards, repeat 1st down.
Well, this really changes your strategy. Now you're looking at deeper crossing patterns.
Puts it back on the 12-yard line where it's 1st and 18 for BYU. 1st and 18 from the 12-yard line. Walsh at quarterback. Cougars down by 7. He's going to throw. They'll sack him on the 2-yard line. And boy, things are just going from bad to worse for the Cougars from BYU against the Hawaii Rainbows.
Ed Sleosi, down lineman, just blows in there. Watch 94 with a bull rush, and he just overpowers his man and makes the hit. The coverage was good, though. Wanted to go to Drage on a dig pattern, and Hawaii had it well covered. In fact, let's give credit to Darrell Green. Did a good job.
2nd down for the Cougars and 26 for a 1st down. So Walsh will be throwing out of the end zone. Now they're going to run it. They run it into the middle of the field and out to the 10-yard line. The ball is fumbled, but the official says the ground caused it. Rainbows thought they had the ball for a minute.
This is Knowles. We've seen quite a bit of him today.
Mansfield and Blakeney have been in lots of stops today, combined for the tackle. Cougars must reach their own 30. They're on their own 10 right now, and it's third down. 3rd and 20. 10:40 to play in this football game. And if they don't get it, Hawaii's going to have fine field position.
Nickel package for the Bows.
Shotgun alignment. Walsh fakes once, throws it deep, and it is incomplete. But the Cougars thought the player on the sideline was held up. But an official there says no. Doman comes over to ask him about it, but there's no call.
Ball was thrown well over Doman. And I think that's the decision by the official, that the ball was uncatchable. So it's a punting situation.
Cougars will have Boardman kicking from his own end zone. Odom will be back on the 40-yard line. The Rainbows have a 7-point lead with 10:20 to play in the game. It was a block punt that started this all going Hawaii's way in the third quarter. Block punt for a touchdown. Here's the snap and the kick. Kicks it off to the right this time. Bounces, fielded by Odom near the 40-yard line, and will be wrestled to the turf right there by the BYU team. So Hawaii will have the ball with very good field position. Bobby Griffiths and Tim Nowatzki downfield for BYU. 49-yard punt.
There's a flag
down at midfield.
And this is really late. Let's see what this is all about.
The flag down on the play. Simmons and Nowatzki on the tackle.
Probably be a personal foul would be the guess. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Hawaii and on BYU.
I don't like that call. I like when they pick one out. Two guys obviously hook up there.
We have 2 dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct fouls against both teams. They offset. First down.
Well, the Rainbows have 10 minutes to protect a 7-point lead, but the way they've been getting the yardage, they could add points. As BYU coach Lavelle Edwards walks the sidelines, his team in trouble. They were the odds-on favorite to win the WAC this year. They won last week, and now they're trading Hawaii on their home field. Carter at quarterbacks had a great game. Carter looking things over. Fakes it, no, he gave it up the middle. Gave it up the middle that time to Calvin Melvin. They've had a good surge from their offensive line.
They've done a very good job, Jay. Really been impressed with what they've tried to do. That was an odd front that time. Lenny Gomes has alternated shading and playing an odd front, and he does make the tackle.
5-yard gain, however. 2nd and 5 for the Rainbows on their own 48-yard line. And they'll take all the time allowed before they get the play underway now. They want to run that clock. 2nd and 5 for the Rainbows. Carter again gives it up the middle. It won't be enough for the first down this time. Over the 50-yard line, however. It pounded up the middle effectively.
It's a guessing game right now. He even set that time, and Gomes lined up head on the right guard, and he slides over, makes a tackle. They're trying to run at the bubble meaning that there's no down lineman in that spot. They tried to run at the linebacker, and Gomes were down.